Hello and welcome. Dirty William here, back with a new Dungeons & Dragons online series. Right up front, I'll tell you, this is probably going to be a very sporadic series because I don't have a plan of what to do. Effectively, this series is going to be about my main character, Adorable, and how I progress through the game. Now, I've not played this character in quite a while, which I'll get into in just a moment. But first, an overview of what this character has done in the past. My first life on this character was as a Warforged favored soul, and actually at the time, this character's name was Jack Brass. I then changed the name at some point along the line to Adorable, which I'll probably change it back to Jack Brass because I like that better. So I'll pay real money for it. I don't care because that's what I want to do. So first life was a Warforged favored soul. This was a long, long time ago. I ground out a Lit 2 Greatsword and various other green steel items, and this is back when the cap was 20, so this has been quite a while ago. But it was very, very fun. I soloed a lot of things, a lot of content on that character, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. But I then wanted to start another character, but I thought, why not just TR, do a tree reincarnation, and use the gear I already have. So that's what I did. I TR'd to a paladin, and actually it was a 15 paladin, 4 monk, and 1 fighter, because I had started thinking about the monk hand wraps and how interesting they looked. I wanted to try something out. So that build was a healing amp build. Lots of healing amp from monk and paladin, fighter for feet, and it was playable in a couple of different ways. One, I could wear an outfit and use hand wraps, or I could go into kind of a skirmisher mode with light armor and wielding 2 kopeshes. And it was very fun. There were no rogue skills or anything, but at the time I didn't really care. It was a second life, and the XP was fairly easy. After that, I had acquired quite a bit of good hand wraps at the time, so I TR'd to a monk. And it's at that point that I decided to go for completionist. The monk was okay until level 17. Then there was an update that occurred which really hampered my ability to heal myself. That wasn't the armor up update, but it seemed like something changed in the game where I was taking a lot more damage and I just could not keep up with it. It was a half elf, so I had the cleric dilettante, and it was okay, but really nothing, not very survivable in my opinion. Too much button mashing for my tastes, so I decided to TR again into a rogue. Well, a rogue isn't that much more survivable than a monk necessarily, and some would say that even less so. The trapping skills were nice. This was a 13 rogue, 6 ranger, and 1 fighter build, and it was actually pretty decent. It used Khopesh, so I got to use the Khopesh that I had made previously, and had mini shot, had a lot of the 2 weapon fighting feats free of charge. It was strength based, but I found out the problem with that was grouping. If I didn't group, I wasn't doing well because my main damage was based off of sneak attack. I didn't have that when I soloed, of course. So back to the drawing board. So the next life was again a favored soul. This time it was favored soul 18 and 2 monk because again I wanted to use my hand wraps. So I went through the game. It was okay, but nothing that great. I thought, the self-healing is nice, but if I could just do a little bit more damage. So I decided to TR again. Life number 6 was a fighter. 16 fighter and 4 monk using hand wraps. Well, the problem is the monk damage basically scales with monk level. So even though I had a lot of weapon critical feats, I still had to use an outfit to be centered, and that was no good taking damage. Plus, I didn't really have any kind of self-healing other than potions. So that was disappointing. Life number 7 was Barbarian, and this was just a pure past life grab. I actually used a stone on this life. It was 6 Artificer, 6 Rogue, and 8 Barbarian. I think after I got to level 10, 11, something like that, I really didn't like it very much at all. I thought I could play it kind of either pew pew with a ranged weapon, or I could pull out my Lit 2 Greatsword. Neither one of those options did very good damage, so that was kind of an awful life. So at some point I used an XP stone, got out of that life, and then TR'd into a bard. This life was 16 bard, 2 barbarian, and 2 fighter. This was the old school type of bard build where you just straight up do damage with a two-handed weapon. You have barbarian for the barbarian run speed and some other enhancements, and 2 fighter for some extra feats. And it was okay. I was a half orc that life, so I had some extra strength, so did a little bit of extra damage. Could heal myself a little bit better. That was actually a more fun life than some of the previous ones that I had done. Life number 9, I decided to get away from melee stuff and go for wizard. So this was a 2 rogue, 18 wizard. So I had all the trap skills, Pale Master, farmed up one of the Maybar robes whenever Maybar was around. So that was a nice thing to do, and it was a fairly fun build. So I could get traps, I could dish out some DPS. Spell points were an issue just because I had a hard time getting a handle on it. I had to really think about the quest, where I wanted to throw down some AoEs and webs and disco balls and that sort of thing. Run through the quest, group mobs, throw down the AoEs, kill them dead, move on. And I finally, eventually, got the hang of it, but it took a while. After that life, I TR'd to a cleric. That was life number 10. It was 18 cleric, 2 monk because I really missed my hand wraps, so I wanted to use my hand wraps again. That was a very fun life, very survivable. I was wisdom based, so my DCs were very, very good, and actually did quite a bit of damage whenever I would use stunning a fist on a mob to take him down. Blade Barrier, of course, was one of the hallmarks of that build, and my destruction was actually landing pretty well in the Inspired Quarter quests on hard, which I was really surprised about. Next life was Druid, 18 Druid, 2 Monk, and that was also hand wraps, always a good thing. I had, by this point, so many hand wraps that it was just ludicrous, and of course I still do. They were very fun to use, in my opinion. I like the Monk Splash for evasion. Had a lot of self-healing, a lot of spells. It was a very fun life, and that's actually the life I am currently, which I'll get to in just a moment. Life number 12 was Sorcerer, 18 Sorcerer and 2 Favored Soul. This was using some of the, I think, Angel of Vengeance enhancements, I think is what it was. Basically, I would spew out Scorching Ray, and I would get some spell points back from some of the enhancements, which was not a bad deal at all. Very fun build, so I played that to cap, and then I TR'd into a Ranger. That was life number 13. I'd put Ranger off because my first character ever was a Ranger, and I didn't like it at all. I just thought they were squishy and awful. Well, since they had done the Ranger enhancement passes, I TR'd to a Ranger. It was 18 Ranger, 1 Fighter, and 1 Rogue, so I had full trap skills, dual-wielding the Khopesh that I hadn't used in quite some time. So that was a very fun build, and honestly, had I known it was going to be that fun, I would have done that class long before. But of course, you still have the enhancement issues. The enhancement pass did not occur until quite a while after, but I actually did another video on that exact build, and it's still a very, very fun build to play. So I TR'd, and that was the final life for completionist, and it was Artificer. It was 9 Druid, 9 Artificer, and 2 Monk, and that was actually a pretty fun life. The 9 Artificer, that was just a past life grab, pretty much. Did a lot of damage, was very fun. So that's how I got completionist, and that was on January 22nd of 2015. Life number 15 and 16 were back-to-back Sorcerer lives. It was 18 Sorcerer and 2 Paladin, Blade Forged, and that did quite a bit of damage. It was very good. The saves were really great, and I was in Shirati, so I stayed in Epics for quite a while and just shot things left and right. It was very, very fun, especially the procking of the hams. That was very fun. And so now we're on to life number 17, which is Druid. And again, this is 18 Druid and 2 Monk. After all these lives and playing other characters that I had created for other series on my channel and alts, I found out that I really am getting away from the Monk Splash because of the outfits and the lack of PRR. Heavy armor is a lot better than outfits right now, in my opinion. Unfortunately, the devs have stated on the official forums that they're not really looking at a monk enhancement pass until sometime in 2016. So that's disappointing. So this life that I'm doing right now is not that much fun. Yes, I still have evasion and I still am getting XP, but it's not that fun to play, at least for me. And I think part of that is because I'm not seeing big numbers like I would on, say, a barbarian, and I don't have the trap skills, so some of my adventures are very, very low as far as my progress. I don't really have I have quite a few gaps, some mostly hard. And the leveling process on this life has been a little bit more difficult, actually, because of my lack of trap skills. So, disappointing, yes. Not anything that I can't overcome, though, by grouping, which I will have to do. So, right now, at this point, what am I going to do for this series? As I said initially, this is going to be a sporadic type of series because I'm not really sure what to record for this series. Some gameplay, obviously, and probably just more of a chat about this is what I like and this is what I don't like at this level or these quests. So it's not going to be an in-depth, use this build, this can solo EE. That is not what this is going to be about. I'm very, very sorry. Very, very sorry. That is not going to be the case because I don't have the skill to do that. This is more of a journey of where I am and what I like, and what I'm liking right now is not necessarily a monk splash, unfortunately. So as I progress through the game from level 24, where I am now, up to level 28, we'll see what happens. But for now, I can farm the rest of my epic destinies, which I will take a look at right now. I have everything capped except for Magister, and I need a little bit more in Exalted Angel. So I have quite a few things capped, but I just need to get on the ball and get the rest of them done. As a matter of fact, while I'm here, I will go ahead and make this active, because I need some XPs in this. Please wait. Thank you. And I think that's pretty much going to do it for this first introductory episode of my life as a druid. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like. Until next time, this is Dirty William reminding you to do the dirty work.